is intermittent fasting a good way to lose weight for a bigger guy and get in shape? So this question came in from Efren. He is a oversized, overweight guy who's looking to get in shape. He tells me he hires a trainer to train him 2 times a week. And his trainer tells him that intermittent fasting is not a good idea for his body type. He's on the obese side, heavier side, and intermittent fasting is not going to work for his body type. He didn't get a reason as to why it's not going to work. His trainer just said it's not going to work for him. So he just continues on with his program. Not really getting too much results, not really losing much weight. He's trying hard though, exercising, paying this trainer on a regular basis. Maybe it's because the trainer doesn't want him to get in shape, so we can keep on paying him so he never leaves. I mean, maybe that's his mentality, but I think it's just the opposite. If you actually reward someone, they're going to come back. So yes, the answer is yes. Intermittent fasting is absolutely the best way and easiest way for someone to lose weight who's a bigger guy. Let me give you a good story and example. I believe that it's the lazy man's way to lose weight. So Efren, if you're a guy who doesn't want to work out, who doesn't want to exercise, who doesn't want to go through and track everything, if you could just adjust when you eat, you're going to lose weight. Because by keeping the body in a fasted state of, let's say, 4 to 6 hours after waking up, what happens is the body then has the ability to go into fat for fuel. Even if you're at a sedentary job and just kind of moving around throughout the day. Now, just the opposite, if you eat every few hours, say you eat 3 to 5 meals a day, the body never has a chance to go into those fat reserves. And so in order for you to burn fat, you have to do an exorbitant amount of activity, high intensity activity. You have to be tracking every single calorie and exercise that you do to even go into fat burning reserves. And it has a much more strategic way to do it. But this is a way that you, as a bigger guy, or anybody who's a little heavier, can go into easily burning fat and losing weight almost effortlessly. And incredibly healthy too. Kind of break it down for you a little bit more. It's what's happening is the body's, it's depleting all its glycogen inside the liver. And once it gets depleted, it goes into burning fat reserves for energy, and you start to training the body on using its own reserves for fuel. That's why the human growth hormone begins to pick up, because the body thinks that you're inside of famine and thinks it's famining and there's not enough food around, so it's going to go ahead and create this extra energy charge from its fat. And the body's wired this way. So it basically picks up the energy naturally by increasing human growth hormone. And you basically just start running off of the fat for fuel. So to answer your question, and ask your trainer what he's basing this on, that it's not for you. Because there's no basis that it isn't for you. Even if you're diabetic, you can watch my videos on my friend Mike. I'll put a playlist in here above on how I helped Mike as a diabetic bring his blood sugar down. He had a blood sugar over 500, which is a lethal dosage, down to a manageable level over a 30-day to 60-day period. I'll put a playlist in here, you can watch it. So even if you're a diabetic, people give the excuse, I'm diabetic, I can't do it, I can't do this, blood sugar. This is the ideal thing. In fact, it's actually more necessary for a diabetic to do this than anybody else, because the diabetics they've got a blood sugar imbalance. So where there's too much sugar in the blood. So the only way to get that sugar down is think of it like this. You've got a cup full of Hawaiian punch. That's like the blood. So the cup is full. Only way to get that thing down is to empty it by not pouring anything back in. So if we keep pouring in sweets and foods and sugars and carbs, the Hawaiian punch blood sugar just keeps going up and up and up. Now, on the other hand, if we just stop pouring anything in and we let our body just go through the day, we're fasting, we're intermittent fasting, we're not doing it, we're just going to activity, we're walking, it goes down and down and down and down and down. And then once it gets low enough, it now is out. There's no more left in the liver. And so then we can refill it but it doesn't actually go up because it's trying to refill the liver's glycogen back up first. So the idea is fasting long enough to where we kind of like balance out that blood sugar levels naturally. So yes, 100% to answer your question, Efren, bigger guy, obese guy is absolutely 100% safe and effective, and the best way to lose weight is through intermittent fasting, skipping breakfast, going, say, a total of about 18 hours in between meals, as much as working your way up to 20 hours. Even just skipping your breakfast and going to lunch, I mean, is a good start. That's how I started. But to ask your trainer this, say, hey, dude, let me see your abs. Let me see your chest. Make sure that he's got nice carved up chest, you know. Should be nice and chiseled up here all the time. Your trainer should have all these things. I mean, he's a trainer. He should be ripped, you know. So make sure you ask him these things, and you check on his abs, and because he knows what he's talking about. If he's got all these signs, he knows what he's doing. He's going to have the results. If he doesn't have the results, you know, tell him 2 words. You're fired. If you like this video, hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe with the picture down below and leave a comment what your thoughts are. Should bigger guys and heavier people do intermittent fasting? I sure think so. Back home in paradise, it's cold, wet, rainy, cloudy. Coming at you, bro.